Amitabh Tiwari, the Prime Minister today, of course, kick-starting his campaign officially in Bihar at the back of what happened yesterday, which we've duly discussed. And then, of course, the AIMIM coming into the fray, accusing Rahul Gandhi of not delivering on the eternal proverbial promise of Jitni Abadi Utna Haq.
As the Chief Minister faced, clearly now the attack of the Prime Minister Modi will be on three factors. One is corruption, the other is Jungle Raj, and the third is nepotism or dynastic politics. Incidentally, somehow all these three allegations of the Prime Minister or BJP allegations against RJD or Mahagathbandhan, somehow they will also manage to fit it on Rahul Gandhi. So all these 3 points, Prime Minister Modi will use to target both Tejaswi and Rahul Gandhi. Now, on the question of the Deputy CM and representation, I think the AIMIM has been running its politics largely on representation of Muslims. Muslims representation in Bihar Assembly is just 8% vis-a-vis 18% population. Now they have also won or were leading in 2 assembly segments even in the Lok Sabha elections in Bihar. They were partly responsible for Mahagathbandhan's loss because they managed to win 5 seats in Seemanchal in 2020, whereas the difference between the 2 alliance groups was only 15 seats. So they will use this opportunity because their vote bank or core vote bank is also the Muslim community itself, which is in conflict with the RJD. So they will use this opportunity to milk this issue and try to gain traction amongst the Muslim community, and a section of it is also talking about representation, because there has been a talk not only in Bihar but also in UP that so-called secular parties or secular parties take the vote of the Muslim community, but perhaps they have not given adequate representation to the Muslims. I mean, we would struggle, we as journalists or strategists or analysts would struggle to name 5 Muslim leaders of RJD today from Bihar, and we would also struggle to name 5 top Muslim leaders of the Congress party nationally. So this is the politics which Owaisi plays on, and this has given him some, you can say, ammunition to make a comeback. Otherwise, we were thinking that the Muslim vote will be largely consolidated in favor.
No, the word is also, no, it's not the word. It was very clear that, and which is strange, Aarti Jairam, because at one point of time you had Mr. Owaisi, Asad Owaisi, who wanted to be a part of the Mahagathbandhan. They had released a formal letter asking to be very much part of the Mahagathbandhan, and Amitabh Tiwari is quite right there, because the politics doesn't quite agree right now to have an Asaduddin Owaisi as a part of Mahagathbandhan, which would have only polarized this election than what it is right now.
No, absolutely. And I think part of, Owaisi's criticism comes out of this frustration that he was rejected and was not allowed to join the MGB, which he was very keen to do. As far as representation is concerned, look, I think every party, every alliance looks at winnability when they choose their candidates. They look at the caste composition of every constituency very carefully. It's examined down to the last person, and they choose their candidates depending on who they think can win the caste combination that can make that candidate win in that particular constituency. So unfortunately, this promise of Jitni Abadi Utna representation, doesn't quite play out, because when winnability becomes the main criterion, you sacrifice a lot. And that is what is happening on both sides, whether it is NDA or MGB. Both sides have had to sacrifice a lot of their slogans and, the kind of ideology that they profess, because they're looking at winnability. So, that's politics for you today. And, let's see what happens. But I do feel that, see, the Prime Minister today did go a step further than Amit Shah, because he did not say what Amit Shah said, which is that the chief minister will be decided after the elections. He just talked about Nitish Kumar's leadership.
Right. No, that's an important point. No, but Aarti Jairam, there was room for him to make it clear, and he did not make it clear. He
He
could
did
have
not
made
make
it clear.
clear.
He practically
That's right.
said the same thing. This election is going to be fought under the leadership of Nitish Kumar. He could have said Nitish
That's
Kumar
right.
is a CM face.
That was the point I wanted to make, that he actually did not take that last step, the final step of announcing Nitish Kumar as the chief ministerial face. Now, whether this is going to have an impact on the voting patterns and on voters, I really don't know. We'll have to wait and see as the campaign proceeds how much of an issue this actually becomes.
Will it have an impact? And I want to bring in Amitabh Tiwari on this. Amitabh Tiwari, there was opportunity that the Prime Minister had. So clearly, this has been, and as expected, where the BJP comes from, a very thought-over process of communication. So Prime Minister practically sticking to what the Home Minister had stated earlier.
No, essentially, see, when 15% are people, as per our vote vibe survey, are likely to vote on the chief ministerial face. So, if the Mahagathbandhan or Tejasvi Yadav and the Congress party start sharpening their attack on who is the CM face of the NDA, then I think at some point of time they will have to take this step, whether be it in the coming days or not. That's one point. Second is, see, the attack is not only as to who is the CM face, because that points out at a leadership vacuum in the BJP JDU combined, correct? So if Nitish is not going to be the CM, let's say, for example, and if the NDA wins, then who is going to be the chief minister? That face is not clear. Now you have two clear faces sort of. One, you have Prashant Kishore, who may say that, oh, I would not become CM, but if his party, let's say, wins, then I mean he is likely to become the CM if at all they win. And you have a Tejasvi Yadav of the Mahagathbandhan, and
Right.
this is going to cause trouble because Bihar is not a state like Rajasthan or Madhya Pradesh where
Right.
you can
Personalities matter.
Point-
You're right.
you can appoint slightly lightweight candidates as chief ministerial faces
And get away
after
with it,
the-
right. So you're saying
people
that's a
would
chink
want
in
to
the
know.
armor there.
People
Yeah,
would want
all right.
to know.
Aarti Jaira, do you agree with that?
Well, it is a chink in the armor, but I want to make one more point. I think this time the youth vote is going to matter a lot. And, the Prime Minister harking back to the Jungle Raj days of the RJD, it's not something that the youth of Bihar identify with because they were born way after Lalu Yadav lost power. And what they have really seen is basically NDA
Okay.
rule in Bihar, So the point is that will the RJD be able to reach out
Right.
to the youth in a better way than the NDA? The fact that they have talked about jobs, employment, I mean, it's a crazy promise
well,
to
that
promise
showed.
one government job per person, but it
Right.
still resonates with people in a state where unemployment is a
Right.
major issue
Right.
today.
No, you're right there because, but that also reflected, I would reckon, in the data which 2020 was concerned where Bihar, because you did see a sizable shift of the youth going towards the RJD. But sometimes, Aarti Jaira, the ghosts of the past are way more haunting than
Of
what
course,
one sees in the present.
we don't know. This
So-
is easily the most confused, scenario in
Right.
Bihar that I've seen.
True.
So
All right, we're gonna-
I'm
all
not
right,
going
okay,
to predict anything. I'm not saying anything on the outcome.